Thanks, Rita. Hello and welcome to Midlands Today with me, Mary Rhodes. The headlines tonight. A white supremacist is jailed for life for the attempted murder of an asylum seeker in Worcester.
This attack was intended to intimidate a section of the public, namely people seeking asylum and those providing them with support.
Sentencing Callum Parslow, the judge also said a far-right neo-Nazi mindset fueled warped, violent and racist views. Also on the programme, final preparations ahead of the Invictus Games in Canada. Team UK take to the slopes of the Tamworth Snowdome.
I think the Games to me is all about recovery and like a shared recovery amongst this group of people who really understand it.
Cheers to the Bailey Head. The Shropshire hostelry was facing closure 9 years ago. Now it's been named Pub of the Year.
And for some, there was a treat of some sunshine today, but expect it to turn a touch cloudier this weekend. All the details on the way.
Good evening. A white supremacist has been jailed for life for the attempted murder of an asylum seeker at a hotel in Worcestershire. 32-year-old Callum Parslow stabbed Naomi Hagos in the chest and hand at the Pear Tree Inn at Smythe. In sentencing him to a minimum term of 22 years and 8 months, the judge said the attack was motivated by a far-right neo-Nazi mindset. Josh Sandiford reports.
Warped, violent and racist. The words used by a judge to describe the views of Callum Parslow, pictured here in the Nazi salute. This CCTV footage captured the moments before and after he tried to kill asylum seeker Naomi Hagos. The incident happened at this former asylum hotel in Worcestershire in April 2024. Parslow was apprehended on a canal towpath shortly afterwards. He's been in custody ever since, somewhere he will now stay for at least 22 years and 8 months. Mr Justice Dove said the attack was motivated by his adoption of a far-right neo-Nazi mindset.
The attack which occurred on the 2nd of April was planned and premeditated. You reached the use of a hotel near your home for housing people seeking asylum, and you targeted it. You armed yourself for the attack and were prepared for your inevitable arrest and incarceration.
Police said Parslow had an extreme right-wing ideology. Nazi memorabilia was seized from his bedsit in Worcester. He also had a tattoo of Adolf Hitler's signature on his left arm.
This attack was intended to intimidate a section of the public, namely people seeking asylum and those providing them with support, and that the attack was intended to further the interests of the violent extreme right-wing ideology which you had adopted. This was undoubtedly a terrorist attack, and this is undoubtedly an aggravating feature of this case.
Parslow also pleaded guilty to an unconnected sexual offence and 2 charges of sending electronic communications with intent to cause distress and anxiety. He's preparing to spend more than 2 decades behind bars for what the judge called a vicious and unprovoked assault on a complete stranger. Josh Sandiford, BBC Midlands Today.
An American woman has appeared in court in Birmingham charged with conspiracy to murder the owner of a clothing shop in the city, as well as members of his family. Amy Betro was flown to Gatwick Airport yesterday following her extradition from Armenia, where she was arrested last summer. Kevin Reid was at the hearing at Birmingham Magistrates Court.
Yes, 45-year-old Amy Betro, originally from Wisconsin in the United States, appeared here in Court 7 at Birmingham Magistrates this morning. She spoke only to give her date of birth, her full name and her address, which she described as being a place called Vanaholt in Armenia. Now, she faces 3 charges, the main one being conspiracy to murder a Birmingham man and members of his family. That man was the owner of a clothing store in the city. But there were 2 other charges. One was possession of a firearm in connection with that incident, and also a charge in relation to the importation of firearms. She was asked how she pleaded, and she replied, not guilty. Her legal representatives then applied for bail so that she could be released, but the District Judge John Bristow went on to refuse bail. Now, Betro is next due to appear at Birmingham Crown Court on February the 14th.
That was Kevin Reid reporting. A teenager is being treated for life-threatening injuries following a stabbing in Solihull. Police were called to Mason's Way in Alton just before 7:30 last night. 19-year-old man was found with stab wounds nearby on Warwick Road and was taken to hospital. Investigation is underway with officers carrying out inquiries at the scene. They're asking anyone with information or dashcam or doorbell footage to come forward. A 43-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of wounding after an elderly man was seriously injured at a bus stop in Birmingham. The 82-year-old was on the Soho Road in Handsworth near the junction with Bolton Road when he was attacked on Tuesday. He remains in a critical condition in hospital. A man's been jailed for 8 years for slashing a man in the neck with a knife in a street in Birmingham. 34-year-old Riesha Geddes from Edgbaston pleaded guilty to causing grievous bodily harm. It happened in Dudley Road in August. Police say the victim is still recovering from his injuries. Now, it's a sport event which has captured the imagination of so many of us. The Invictus Games features athletes with a range of physical and mental injuries sustained while serving in the forces. The 7th Invictus Games, which start in Canada in 3 weeks, is the first to feature winter sports. And members of Team UK have been completing their preparations at Tamworth Snowdome. From there, David Lumb reports.
Mark from Worcester is visually impaired after being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2011.
Put me in a really dark place. It was having a huge effect on the family, my wife and kids, and my parents as well.
Next month he will compete in the Invictus Games for the first time since a family tragedy turned his world upside down.
In January 2017, Sam, my son, had taken his own life. I was devastated, we were all devastated. I was lost, and it was only through my ski guide, Neil, said, look, you need to get back on the snow to see if it helped. It was from that moment in time, and then I got the love of sport again.
The Invictus Games were founded in 2014, a sporting event for injured servicemen and women. The event includes winter sports for the first time this year. Jo from Newport in Shropshire is in the RAF. In 2013, she was in an avalanche in the Scottish Highlands. 3 people died. But she says sport has helped her recover.
It's about well-being. It is about mental health. It is about managing activity to burn off adrenaline within my body, which then is a coping mechanism to help me in the rest of my life.
Sam from Birmingham is a medicine doctor in the RAF and will be competing in her first Invictus Games this year. She dislocated her knee competing in athletics in 2023.
Physically it was really hard because it was painful, and I've had kind of chronic pain since then. But also mentally it's been quite hard. I went from being an athlete, a doctor, an officer to very quickly just being at home on my own, needing a lot of help just for day-to-day things. And I think that was quite isolating. And so coming back into this environment with a team of people who understand and are really supportive has been massively helpful.
So many stories about struggle and recovery. The power of sport to overcome adversity. David Lumb, BBC Midlands Today, Tamworth.
Now this is the jack snipe. It's an expert at camouflage and hiding from humans, which means it's one of the most mysterious of birds. But now technology is being used to unlock the secrets of this little snipe. For the first time, a group from Staffordshire have managed to track the migrating jack snipe as they fly from their winter home in the county all the way to Russia. Here's our science correspondent, David Gregory Kumar.
Today we're going to be trying to catch and ring this bird, the jacksnipe. It's a secretive and mysterious species. There could be 50 of them lurking on this former South Staffordshire colliery site. We just need to find them. They're really hard to spot.
They are. They're very hard to spot. They've got very good camouflage. That's what makes it so difficult to find them and know much about them, really.
But these days technology is changing all that.
Because they're difficult to see, we've been using thermal imaging cameras, and that makes them a lot more visible to us, and it was an absolute game changer. As soon as we started using that, we started finding jacksnipe relatively easily.
And the camera has helped us track down and catch another one. But there's still so much we don't know, like where do jacksnipe go in the summer? They only winter here in the UK and then they head off. But once again, technology to the rescue. For the first time, Staffordshire jacksnipe have been fitted with tiny trackers.
So these are really tiny birds. They're 50 to 70 grams, and that means the trackers have to be really tiny too. They weigh just over 1 gram. They've got a little aerial, a solar panel, a battery, and it stores the location of the bird inside the tracker itself. So to find out where it's been, you've got to catch the bird and get the tracker back and download the data.
And just before Christmas, they did just that. This bird was recaptured in Staffordshire and the data downloaded. And this is what it showed. The bird spent February to April overwintering in Staffordshire, then it flew overnight to Essex. The next day it reached Germany, and the next day after that, Poland. That's 1,000 kilometres in 3 days.
And then it stayed about 10 days at this site in Poland. Having flown that far so quickly, no doubt it's worn out, it's exhausted, needs to refuel, refeed. So it's done that. It's flown then in the next 2 days to another site in Poland and then to 2 locations in Latvia and quite close to sort of northern Latvia when we lost the signal.
Yeah, but unfortunately the battery failed on this tracker, so we're assuming it went over to Russia where they tend to breed, but obviously more information needs to be found from that.
But there are still 7 other birds with trackers out there, and if the team recapture them, more snipe secrets will finally be revealed. David Gregory Kumar, BBC Midlands Today, South Staffordshire.
Fascinating little birds, aren't they? I've certainly never seen one. Now I know why. Good to have you with us here on Midlands Today. Becky will be with us a little later with the weekend forecast. Also still to come, 12 points clear at the top of League Two. We join a training session at Walsall to find out what lies behind the Saddlers' success. And still going strong at 92, we meet Black Country table tennis club member Ivan. To come here and practice climbing has opened my world again. Those are the words of Amanda, who's returned to the sport of indoor rock climbing after suffering a serious brain injury, which left her unable to walk or talk. Well, she's one of many who've been helped by a Midlands charity which uses the activity as therapy for people with acquired brain injuries. Yvonne Brissett reports.
It was a passion for many years, one that took Amanda around the country.
I used to climb quite regularly, 2 or 3 times a month, and then I had a massive seizure out of the blue.
But thanks to an initiative by Headway, a charity in Birmingham and Solihull that helps people affected by acquired brain injuries, Amanda has been able to return to the sport.
Following a brain injury, people can struggle with stamina, with fatigue and coordination, so all of those things can be helped via the climbing environment.
The way it helps with cognitive skills is that people need to plan a route, then remember to coordinate each step carefully. The processing, planning and organising helps to improve the brain's function.
And it's had huge benefits for Amanda.
It was something I didn't think I'd ever be able to do again. I can't drive again, there's quite a few things that I can't do anymore. So given the opportunity to come here and practice climbing has opened my world again.
Another person to benefit from the initiative is former firefighter Roland Turner, who had a car crash 4 years ago, but is now able to get out of his wheelchair at least twice a month to climb.
Good job.
Along with him is 51-year-old Stephen Lynch, who was knocked over by a car when he was just 10 years old.
I enjoy it, it's very enjoyable. It gives you a great pleasure for the achievement of reaching the top.
The scheme is being supported by Red Point Climbing Centre, which says it makes a huge difference.
When they first come down, they need a lot of assistance, and they can see their own progress, they can monitor their own progress, and they get better motor function, they get good problem-solving skills, and it increases their confidence as well.
Funding for the initiative is due to run out shortly, and the charity Headway is appealing for anyone who may be able to help to get in touch. Yvonne Brissett, BBC Midlands Today, Birmingham.
Right, let's move on to sport now. Dan has joined me. Dan, they're starting to dream of a promotion party at Walsall, aren't they? And understandably so.
Yeah, with a 12-point lead at the top of League Two, you could understand why they're getting excited. Head coach Matt Sadler insists the job's only half done, but I think it's fair to say there are grounds for optimism.
The sun was shining, the mood was up, and not surprising. Walsall have set a new club record of 8 consecutive league wins. It's put the side 12 points clear at the top of League Two. But now they want to win the title. They want promotion to League One.
Everyone involved in football, from staff, supporters, players, everyone wants to do well, everyone's ambitious, everyone wants to move forward. And that, you know, I'm no dissimilar, and our players are no dissimilar to that. And certainly that's what our aim was at the start of the season, and we're on the path to that.
From the goalkeepers to the outfield players,
same detail, let's go,
and the coaching staff, everyone's doing their bit.
What you're getting so right at the moment?
I think it's just togetherness as a group. We really understand each other, we understand what the staff want from us, and we work really hard for each other, and that's the main thing. If you can work really hard for each other, you'll more than likely end up on the right side of things.
Head coach Matt Sadler has just shown his commitment by signing a new contract. It keeps him at the club until 2028.
It's a wonderful football club to work at and work for, fantastic owners, fantastic people, and you know, we're doing a job.
The only thing not going to plan is top scorer Nathan Lowe being recalled to his parent club Stoke City early this week.
Top scorer left us, but hopefully he can do well at Stoke, and I'm sure every Walsall supporter will be watching his progress, his future, and for me myself, I'll be watching how he gets on. I'm more like a utility striker, mischief striker, or whatever you want to say it, but I'm sure I'll put the shift in for the team. But other strikers that are here right now, I think we have to respect that.
The Sadlers are a team in a rush to get promoted.
Yes, Dan, it's a really exciting time for Walsall fans, isn't it? Albion supporters, on the other hand, still waiting for a manager.
Now, I did say exactly the same thing this time last week, but it looks as though we are close to an appointment now.
You sure?
I think so. With Tony Mowbray returning to the club 15 years after he left for Celtic. Of course, Mowbray is really highly regarded at the Hawthorns because of a really successful first spell when he led the Baggies to promotion to the Premier League. He's been out of the game since being diagnosed with bowel cancer in February of last year. That was when he was still the Birmingham City head coach. But the good news is that recently he has had the all clear from the doctors.
Yeah, and he was such a favourite at the Hawthorns as well, so we'll wait and see on that one. Meanwhile, a huge win for Shrewsbury Town last night really improves their chances of staying in League One.
Yeah, and not only that, their games against Wrexham are big cross-border derbies. Now, Shrewsbury were the huge underdogs in this one. If Wrexham had won, they'd have gone to the top of the League One table. But John Marquis was the hero for Shrewsbury. He scored twice, a goal in each half. So a crucial win for the Shrews, but they are still 5 points adrift of safety.
Like all good strikers do, you follow in and you get your rewards, and ended up being the winning moment. So yeah, really happy on a personal level, but most importantly, I think that result gives us and gives everyone else around the club a lot of belief, and we've done it against Birmingham, we've done it against Wrexham.
Right, we're going to stay in Shropshire, we're going to change sports though. Big weekend ahead for the Telford Raiders Rugby League Club. Tell us more.
That's right, they're going to play in the Challenge Cup for the first time in their history. Now, it's a huge achievement for a club that was only formed in 1995, and they're entirely amateur. They visit Rochdale Mayfield in the first round tomorrow.
We're all excited. Normally at this time of the year it's very quiet. There's a massive buzz and excitement around the club at the moment. We are trying to represent the Midlands in this Challenge Cup, so we've got to try and make the Midlands proud and go, a Midlands team aren't a walkover, they're not a pushover, they're actually a very good side.
I've had to wait an extra week because of the frozen pitches last week. I hope they have a fabulous day.
Yeah, good luck to them. Dan, thanks very much. Have a good weekend. Thank you. Well, actually, we're going to stay in Shropshire. Once failing pub in the county, nearly closed 9 years ago, has been named as the best in the country. The Bailey Head in Oswestry was rescued by husband and wife team Duncan Burriman and Grace Goodland. Judges at the Campaign for Real Ales said the couple had made the pub a haven for the community. Bob Hockenhull got the short straw. He's been down for a pint, non-alcoholic, of course.
The drinkers were spilling out onto the street in Oswestry today. With good reason, the Bailey Head was about to be named Pub of the Year. 9 years ago, the pub looked set to close. Duncan and Grace stepped in to buy it. Since then, 2,500 different brands of cask ale have been poured here. A love of beer has brought people together.
You win it because of people and because of community, because your staff know what they're talking about, because your staff are welcoming, because your regular customers, if a stranger comes in, are welcoming to them.
While many pubs have closed, struggling after COVID, the Bailey Head has thrived. So why do people keep coming back?
I've made so many friends just from this pub, and that's important to me.
I think the variety of beers, particularly the gluten-free stuff, which is on celiac disease, so that's really important to me that Duncan and Grace both understand, and the staff.
The staff are the major part of it. You always feel welcome when you come in here. They know us by first name now. As a woman, I always feel comfortable coming in here.
The Bailey Head is a very welcoming pub, and therefore it's very comfortable to sit there.
It's a friendly pub. Yeah, it's a great friendly pub. It's proper pub. Yeah.
It's not just people, dogs are welcome too.
We've had up to about 22 dogs in this pub at one time, and no fighting or nothing. It's lovely.
All tastes are catered for.
I've tried some of the wackiest, weirdest beers here. Like a tzatziki, cucumber mint, yoghurt beer. Who knew that existed?
So why did the campaign for Real Ale choose this 250-year-old pub as the winner?
What we look for is anyone can walk into the pub and feel like they're at home. It's how you feel when you walk in, but also how you feel when you leave. And you leave knowing you want to come back.
No food served, but people can bring their own. Another facet of the laid-back, welcoming atmosphere here.
Well, it looks lovely, doesn't it? Well, Bob is helping the Bailey Head to celebrate this evening. Bob, is it nice and buzzy on a Friday evening?
Yes, it certainly is, Mary. It's been buzzing all day, actually, and lots of people have been coming not only from Shropshire but from outside the county to soak up the delights here. Well, Duncan and Grace are with me now. Duncan, I know you moved here 9 years ago. What was it like when you got here? Presumably not like this.
No, it was quite different. It had been owned by a big national pub company. There's 23-ish pubs in Oswestry at the time, and it was selling normal mainstream big brand beers, and it had nothing really special about it, so it was failing. I mean, we saw the figures and it was going to be closed. It really had no future.
But you gave it a future. Grace, what do you think you did that turned it around?
I think what we tried to do from day one was make sure we were offering a range of exciting independent beers that are made by real people with real passion, small businesses. We focused on that at first, and at first we were working ridiculous hours, and then we started to slowly build a team of staff who we could trust to, live out those values of good quality beers, a friendly welcome. And it's just been a constant stream of that kind of work for the last 9 years.
And culminating in this great award today, how do you feel about winning?
I think we're both in a bit of a state of shock. We haven't got to the celebrating bit. We've known since the 22nd December, but since then it's like, right, we've got to make sure we've got enough beer for this thing, and lots of people are going to turn up. And we've been talking to their press team, and it's like planning all those things. It's been a continual whirlwind. At some point, I think we'll go, wow, that was good, wasn't it? But it hasn't quite got there yet.
Yeah, it's not felt real. I mean, I didn't start to feel it was real until I saw some of the newspaper headlines today. I told my dad, and my dad knew it was coming, but I was still thinking, maybe I'm imagining it. And then when I saw newspaper headlines, I was like, oh no, it's happened. And I've known for almost a month.
Fantastic. Well, I'm glad you've had a great day. Congratulations. And maybe lots more people will be travelling here now the pub has won this great award.
Yeah, it's fantastic news. Bob, thank you. Definitely the best dressed man at that pub in Oswestry. Now, at 92, is Ivan Pedley the Midlands' oldest sporting competitor? Ivan from Walsall is a member of the Great Worley Table Tennis Club. He joined the club when he was in his 70s, and John Bray has been to meet him.
Ivan started playing table tennis when he was 14. 78 years later, he's still going strong.
I like players a lot win, because I don't want to dishearten them. Yeah.
Do you think you've got better with age, or have you just maintained the same standard?
Well, I think I've got better since I've been here because of the standard I'm playing against. A lot of them help me a lot, I know that. A lot of them could knock me off the table and they don't. They really do help me in my game, and I appreciate it. They're absolutely wonderful for me. They've helped me through my sad days, and I appreciate all they've done for me, and they have. A wonderful crowd of people, second to none.
How long are you going to carry on playing here?
Oh, untold years yet. No, I don't know how many years yet, but I enjoy every minute.
Well done, Ivan. Fantastic reactions he's got. All right, let's find out how the forecast is looking for the weekend. Becky is with us. Sunshine in rather short supply, Becky, and from what you said earlier, it's going to stay that way?
Yeah, and do you know what, Mary? The temperatures have been back and forth like Ivan's paddle, haven't they? We've been cold, we've been warm, well, not warm, but milder. And through this weekend, those temperatures dropping again. But like Mary said, sunshine in short supply out there today. There were a few brighter spots, but through the weekend, we're all going to need our big furry coats like this because those temperatures are starting to fall away once again. There was a little bit of brightness, as I said, but for most of us it is going to be a grey weekend and there will be quite a lot of cloud. We may even get some mist and murk like this through the next couple of days. And our temperatures are starting to dip off, but it is staying largely dry. So high pressure firmly in charge at the moment over the near continent, and it's dragging up this colder air as those winds go around in a clockwise direction. As this cold front starts to sneak through, it will strengthen the wind, so that could bring some good news for Sunday in terms of breaking up that cloud a little bit. But through tonight, we are going to continue to keep that blanket of cloud, but that does help with temperatures. Where we get any holes, there may be a few mist and fog patches developing, but our temperatures are going to drop down to around about freezing once again. So it is going to be a chilly start, but let's remember it was -8 last Saturday morning. It was very cold in the milking parlour, let me tell you. It was a very cloudy day to come tomorrow. We have got a few holes developing in there, and we will start to get some sunshine with our temperatures around 4 or 5 Celsius. As we head through the end of the day and overnight again, we'll see that cloud spilling in and it's going to sit over the top of us. Again, some mist patches may start to develop out there. And once again, we are back down to freezing with our temperatures dipping just below -1. We are in a cold air mass and we stay that way as we head into Sunday. But as the winds start to strengthen, it should break down that cloud a little more. So potentially we will get a bit more in the way of sunshine by the time we head through to Sunday. Temperatures are struggling, but they will start to increase into next week, Mary.
Oh, we'll hang on to that thought at least. Thanks, Becky. And that is all from us all here at Midlands Today. From all of the team, have a lovely weekend. Bye for now.